Bitcoin, the golden goose of crypto traders, had made a lot of people a lot of money. Bitcoin really speaks to the imagination, and with the price of Bitcoin this year already more than doubling, a lot of people are wondering, is Bitcoin going to go to new highs? And can I this time get in on the action in time and also make a lot of money? If you believe Bitcoin will reach new highs, then these 3 ways will help you make exponentially more money. The third option is my favorite play on Bitcoin and can make you more than 5 times the profit than investing directly in Bitcoin. But since diversification is never a bad thing, I myself use all 3 methods to cover all my bases. It is almost 100% certainty that if the Bitcoin prices rise to new all-time highs, these methods will rise way more and have the power to give you profits beyond your wildest dreams. The first method that is proven to give you more profits than investing directly into Bitcoin is investing into altcoins. Altcoins are coins like Litecoin, Ether, XRP, and so forth. When we have a look at the charts, we see that when we take September 2020 as starting point, that Bitcoin has risen by 600% to its all-time highs. This is a crazy return in just a year. This return has fueled the hype and has brought you here to see if you can replicate this for the coming times. However, when we look at altcoins over a similar period of time, we also start in the beginning of September 2020 and we compare this to their all-time highs, we see that XRP rose 685%, already beating Bitcoin. Litecoin rose 712% and Ethereum rose 1311%, more than doubling the profit you would have gotten with Bitcoin. If you would have spread your investment in these 3, you would still have an average return of more than 900%. Making investing in these altcoins 50% more profitable than just investing in Bitcoin. And these are just the most popular altcoins at that time. If you would have picked more obscure altcoins, your profits could have been way higher. But to be honest, I would recommend against buying these very obscure coins, since these are very uncertain if they would pop, and then you are more going into gambling territory than anything else. So you see, people that just invested in the most popular altcoins as opposed to Bitcoin already made a better investment choice than anybody who ran with Bitcoin itself. Now, it's of course not guaranteed that the same will be true next time, but when we overlay the charts of the past year, we see they are still moving very much in tandem. The second method on how you can profit of Bitcoin is maybe the most safe way of investing, because doing this is in itself already a diversification of your investment. The second method is investing in companies that use Bitcoin or altcoin in their businesses. An obvious choice for this is of course Coinbase. This company's core is centered around crypto trading and it's basically all they do. Now, Coinbase wasn't around when Bitcoin's price exploded, but when we put the Coinbase chart for this year next to the Bitcoin chart, not only do you see that they are practically the same, you also see that Coinbase has risen 171% in price this year, outperforming Bitcoin that has risen 115%. If this is a trend that will continue, one can only see that investing in Coinbase stock is a better way to play the market than directly investing in Bitcoin. Another company that was around when Bitcoin went to all-time highs, but where you wouldn't directly think of, is Block, aka Square. Now, the great thing about this company is that a huge part of its revenue is coming from Bitcoin. So whenever Bitcoin is popular, a lot of it is traded on its platform, adding to its revenue. And even though it doesn't do a lot in profit terms to Block, it gets investors excited. And they push the stock price up. From its all-time lows in 2020 to its all-time highs in 2021, Block went up by more than 700%. Now, of course, for this company, this is not 100% related to Bitcoin, but you can see that as soon as interest in Bitcoin dwindled, the big revenue growth stopped and interest of investors also dried out. Now, if Bitcoin would see a new resurgence, I see a big chance of the stock rising again. In Block's last quarter, Bitcoin revenue was already showing better performance, and this in part helped the stock rise since then. As you can see, investing in companies that do business with or have crypto at its core are a great way to gain exposure to Bitcoin or even beat the growth of Bitcoin. If you want to learn more about these or related companies, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. The third way, and my favorite way to beat Bitcoin, also the way that has proven itself time and time again, even in the past year easily outperforming Bitcoin, but is still really tied into Bitcoin itself, is buying stocks of Bitcoin miners. The top 3 Bitcoin miners by market cap are Marathon Patent Group, Riot Platforms, and CleanSpark. I have always invested in Riot, but all of these are prime candidates. Let's first have a look at this year. This year Marathon has risen 90%, lagging behind Bitcoin. Riot has risen 182%, easily outperforming Bitcoin. And CleanSpark 167%, also beating Bitcoin. However, this is not the reason why I'm so excited about these stocks. Let's again compare this with the September 2020 until their respective all-time highs. Marathon went from $2 to $76, rising 3,800%. Riot went from $3 to $72, rising 2,400%. And CleanSpark went from $10 to $39, rising only 390%. However, if we would have bought CleanSpark 6 months earlier, we would have risen 3,400%. As you can see, these are not only bigger numbers than the Bitcoin growth numbers, they are crazy better than the Bitcoin growth number. If you would have invested $10,000 at the right time in any of these companies, you would have $320,000 in the end. Instead of the $60,000 you would have investing directly into Bitcoin. Now to me, these companies by itself are not worth investing in, and they are way overpriced when their stock price goes parabolic. However, the stock price for these companies is obviously not linked to the performance of these companies. We saw 3 ways in which you could get more money out of Bitcoin than investing in Bitcoin. If you believe that Bitcoin will reach all-time highs again, I'm sure these methods will help make you a lot of money. Me, I have investments in all these methods. I have altcoins, I have Bitcoin, I have Square stock, I have Riot and CleanSpark stock. To recap on the performance of these 3 methods compared to the 600% return of Bitcoin, we saw that altcoins have an average return of investment of 900%. With related stock companies, we can't really compare since we have no data for the last all-time high, but Coinbase is outperforming Bitcoin this year by 50%. And as for Bitcoin miners, averaging a 3,200% return, making this the most lucrative way by far. If this video was of value to you, please don't forget to like. Also, if you want to see more in-depth analysis on these investment methods, please subscribe. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, and it would be awesome to get there before the end of the year. Thanks for watching. See you next time.